The Asian Games are set to begin tomorrow. China is hosting them, so expect two things: some good sporting action and some not so good political opportunism. We've already seen incident number one. On Thursday, India's Wushu team landed in China. Wushu is a martial art. It is said to have originated in China. Now, India's Wushu team had 11 members, but 3 of them never made it to China. Why is that? India says because Beijing denied them entry. All 3 athletes are from Arunachal Pradesh. China claims this region as part of South Tibet, so no entry. India says this is targeted and premeditated. Listen to the government statement, and I'm quoting. Arunachal Pradesh was, is, and will always remain an integral and inalienable part of India. China's action violates both the spirit of the Asian Games and the rules governing their conduct. Now, how has China responded to this? There are 2 responses. One is from the Chinese government. They say all athletes with valid documents are welcome to China. Listen to this.
As the host, China welcomes athletes from all countries to attend the Games with valid documents. China doesn't recognize the so-called Arunachal Pradesh province you've mentioned. The southern Tibetan region is part of China's territory.
Of course, they mentioned Arunachal Pradesh, but words and maps do not decide authority. The people of Arunachal Pradesh do. Having said that, let's focus on these so-called valid documents. I presume they're talking about visas. Did China not issue visas to these athletes? That's where the second response comes in. This is from the Asian Games officials. They say visas were issued, but India rejected them. Listen to this.
These Indian athletes got already visa for enter in China. China didn't refuse any visa, but the problem is, according to the Chinese government regulations, we have the right to give them different kind of visa. But unfortunately, these athletes didn't accept this visa.
Let me repeat that. We give them different kind of visa. What does that mean? Perhaps staple visas. And it wouldn't be the first time. China did something similar during the World University Games. The same 3 athletes were targeted. China issued them staple visas. Your normal visas are stamped on the passport, but a staple visa is not. It is instead pinned or stapled to the passport, so you can take it off at will. And why does China do this? To assert their claims over Arunachal Pradesh. Reports say China started doing this in 2009. India, however, does not recognize this kind of visa. And this time, New Delhi is escalating matters. A diplomatic protest has been lodged with China. The Sports Minister of India, Anurag Thakur, has cancelled his visit to Hangzhou. That's where the Games are being held. China's move should not be seen in isolation, though. They're part of a larger trend. Last month, they released a new map. 2 Indian regions were shown as Chinese territory. One was Aksai Chin, the other was Arunachal Pradesh, the same state. And this obsession is an old one. China considers Arunachal Pradesh to be unfinished business. It's called the 5-finger policy. Mao Zedong came up with it. He said that Tibet is China's right palm. And this palm has 5 fingers: Ladakh, Nepal, Sikkim, Bhutan, and Arunachal Pradesh. These are the 5 fingers. Mao said China should liberate these regions. In other words, invade and occupy them. Now, do you see why this is a problem? 3 of these so-called fingers belong to India, and 2 others are sovereign nations. But China doesn't care, and recently their approach has become more aggressive. Whether it's border incursions or map warfare or diplomatic escalations, China says, ignore all these problems. Let's focus only on the positives. But India has rejected that approach. New Delhi says peace at the border is the #1 priority for India. Fix that, and normalization will follow. But clearly, China is not interested in that. They're doing the exact opposite, needling India even in sporting events. Just think about it. The Asian Games are supposed to be about unity and solidarity, about showcasing Asia's prowess. You can't do that without India and China. These are 2 countries who will define the Asian century. Yet Beijing chooses to politicize it. We can only hope that global sporting authorities are watching what's going on, that they will take action against China, although considering the recent past, I wouldn't hold my breath. Hosting such events is considered an honor, a privilege for the host country. But China has turned it into a weapon, a stage and opportunity to make petty political points.